Rishabh Pandey.
And we are from
Pro India.
So good afternoon, everyone. This is Amit Saha. I hope you are able to see us. And we have with us Yasin, who's in the background. And we have the entire team to service you a little bit about Pro India. We are now 5 years old. We have been servicing EPR requirements and compliances in EHS domains, sustainability, carbon, water. A little bit about me. I have spent about 35 years now in different corporates, 30 years in 3 corporates. So basically, started off way back in 90 with the automobile company called Eicher. I spent about 5 years there, and then moved to Gillette in projects, engineering, and other functions. And then for last 20 years, before starting Pro India in 2018, 20 years I spent in Coca-Cola, India, Southwest Asia, in various roles as factory head, environment, health, safety, sustainability, quality, and operational efficiencies, CSR. So in 2018, I started Pro India, and it's been 5 years. You just saw a video of the 5 years work, very quick one. For the people who have joined a little late, we can always send you this this separately. But I'm so happy that we are running full. We are 100 is the capacity of this webinar, and we are 100 people at this point in time. It's really thrilling. It's really good to know that there's so many interested people, and we really welcome all of you to join us here today. I have the entire team at the background. So we will not talk about the entire team. We will just immediately jump into the matter, and we will take your questions. So maybe the best way to take questions would be if you are going to put them in the chat box, and Yasin is going to put it for me, and we will ask that. So you can start putting your questions straight away. We are also live on YouTube. So as I mentioned on the chat box somewhere, that this is the live link of webinar. In case that some of you get bounced off mid-term, and or you get disconnected and you want to get reconnected back and you're not able to get that, I'm really sorry, because our link has a capacity of only 100 participants. So if you do get bounced off, please just get onto the YouTube and you'll see most of it. We are also measuring whether YouTube is working or not working in our system. Okay. So with that, let me begin. I have a short presentation on e-waste. Today we are discussing about compliances, and we are discussing about whether your company has a requirement of or to comply on the e-waste or not. So I'm going to share my screen. And how do I close this? I'll close it here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen from here. Entire screen. And I'm hoping that my screen is visible also. Yasin, please let me know if my screen is visible or not.
No, sir. The PPT is, yeah, screen is visible, but the PPT is not shared. Yes.
Okay, PPT will come up in a minute.
It's visible right now. Yes, sir.
Is the PPT visible?
The PPT is visible.
Okay. All right. So so I'm just going to go to the top. This is about e-waste, and we're going to talk about what is, first of all, what is this rule on e-waste. There is some rule on battery waste also, but at this point in time, our focus is on e-waste, and it is applicable to a lot of sectors, and maybe it is applicable to you as well. Just 1 minute. I am not sure why this thing did not open up. There's a little bit of a lag. I'm sorry about that. So, if you are able to hear me clearly, can you put it in the chat box? Just put a thumbs up on the chat box if you are able to hear me clearly. Can you just put a thumbs up on the chat box?
Yes, sir. We have thumbs up coming up. You're
All right.
audible, sir.
Perfect. Good. Um, um, Excellent. So, so moving on, e-waste. As I mentioned to you a little bit about Pro India, we mentioned that we are a 5-year-old organization. Now we are supporting a whole lot of companies in plastic waste management and compliance. We are also doing work in the space of ESG, which is environmental and social governance. Some of your companies are listed and they may have a BRSR requirement, which is business responsibility sustainability reporting requirement. So that also we are supporting. We are also helping companies transition to a lower carbon footprint, and therefore moving on to how to reduce your overall carbon footprint and go towards net zero. So whether it's plastic, carbon, water, or any other elements that that are required to be taken care of, we are a company which is looking at waste to wealth or zero footprints. So that is what we have been doing in the last 5 years. E-waste is a relatively new regulation and a relatively new field for most of you. We have been, I mean, I am aware of e-waste rules starting 2012, and most of you who are from a very large production organization or brand like Nokia or Panasonic or LG or Samsung or even Apple, they know already about the e-waste requirements. But there are other who are probably not, and some of them are completely new to e-waste, and also you may be new in terms of your thinking that probably it is not applicable. So, for example, you may be importing some products and you may think that we are not a producer, so finally the rules may not apply. You may be consuming, so again probably the rules, you may think that rules may not apply. So we this is what we're going to cover quickly, and again I'm having a lag between my display computer and here. So what I'm showing on display computer is probably taking 1 minute to reach here. Why don't I kind of change this as for the display from here only? 1 second, please. Okay, just 1 second. Let me. Okay, are you able to see me, hear me clearly, Yasin?
Yes, sir. You're visible and audible.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just changed my machine so that there is hopefully lesser lag here. So I'm going to display directly from here. Hmm. So I mentioned about Pro India. We mentioned about what we will discuss today is, first of all, what is e-waste, what constitutes e-waste, what are the different categories of components, electricals, electronics, which will come under e-waste. You can then get an idea of whether your component, the things that you manufacture or you import or you produce, whether it comes under that or not. And then finally, am I a producer? It's very important to know whether you're a producer or not. A producer is one who has all the targets and compliance to meet. The others have to just register. uh, how will the e-waste recycling targets be calculated, and then what are the further requirements and a roadmap. So I'm what is e-waste onwards, I'm going to request Yasin to quickly cover. I'm just going to turn the slides, Yasin, so you can speak from here onwards.
Okay, sir. So the table of contents include what is e-waste, the categories of electrical and electronic equipment, am I a producer, e-waste recycling target, requirements by CPCB, roadmap.
Yeah, I've already turned the slide. It's probably taking some time for the slides to come up, is it? Yeah, there is a little bit of lag. You can go to the next slide. You can talk about the next slide. What is e-waste, Yasin?
Okay, sir. So what is e-waste? Going with the definition, e-waste, short for electronic waste, refers to any discarded electrical or electronic devices that have been reached the end of their useful life or no longer needed by their owners. This category of waste encompasses a wide range of items, including old computers, laptops, smartphones, televisions, washing machines, and other electronic appliances. So let us look at some of the statistics in India. India is the third largest generator of e-waste in the world after China and the US. The country generated an estimated of 3.2 million metric tons of e-waste the year 2020-2021. Only about 30% of the e-waste in India is recycled in an environmentally sound manner. The government of India has taken some steps to address the problem of e-waste in the year 2011 with the e-waste management and handling rules. Some statistics. So next slide. Amidst the booming sector of electronic in India, a surprising revelation emerges. 20% of the registered electronic companies listed with the CPCB as plastic producers have not yet embraced their responsibility as e-waste producers on the CPCB portal. This thought-provoking statistics raises the question. If this is a scenario with the electronic industry, one can only imagine the potential case of not compliance across the other sectors. It underscores the urgent need for heightened awareness and unified action to address the environmental challenges posed by the e-waste, ensuring a sustainable future for our nation. Next slide. Categories of electrical and electronic equipments. So there are basically 7 main categories of e-waste, and we have 106 subcategories of e-waste in that main categories. So you can see that the first 4 categories are mentioned in this slide. The first one is the IT and telecommunication equipment. So we have a code, like for the IT and telecommunication equipment, we have 27 subcategories of e-waste in that, and each subcategory has a code with them. Like for example, it starts from ITEW1 to ITEW27. So it shows that there are 27 subcategories of e-waste. Some of the example that includes in the IT and telecommunication equipment waste category is that personal computers, printers, telephones, and scanners. The other main category includes consumer electric and electronics photovoltaic panels, in which the examples are refrigerator, washing machine, video recorder, and audio amplifiers. The next category is the large and small electric and electronic equipment. Examples include large cooling appliances, electric cookers, electric fans, vacuum cleaners. The next category, the fourth one, is electrical and electronic tools. Examples include drills, sewing machines, tools for welding, soldering, or similar use. Going to the next slide, we have 3 more main categories. The fifth one is toys, leisure, and sports equipment. Examples include electrical trains or car racing sets, handheld video games consoles, coin slot machines. The sixth main category of e-waste is medical devices. Examples include radiotherapy equipment, accessories, dialysis equipment and accessories, analyzer and accessories. The last 7th main category includes the laboratory instruments, for which examples are the gas analyzer, equipments having electrical and electronic components. There are some other categories also, but not mentioned which is not included in any of these categories, which Amit sir will be taking?
Yeah, so in the these are the standard categories, and we'll get to the rules directly. But they in the case of your company, if you are not falling into these names, it does not mean that you are not into electronic waste. Because when I share with you the 148 different categories, subcategories, you will find that some of them are very generic, like display panel, for example. So you that will not come under any specific of these previous 7 ones, but you still fall under the e-waste rules. Okay, yeah. Um, so basically, these are the four major sectors where the e-waste is applicable. Doesn't mean that others are not, but generally accepted is electronics, automobiles, IT, and white goods. So we are servicing all these four sectors, but these are the four major sectors which are required to definitely become responsible and register. And then it comes to basically who is a producer. And because the entire requirement is for a producer to fulfill the EPR target, and how the EPR target is calculated. So who's a producer is basically, these are the four statements, and we'll go back to where it has come from. Any manufacturers and offers to sell the electrical electronic equipment under their own brand. If you are selling any item under your brand name, you automatically become a producer, and obviously you will have a target. Then second case could be sells electrical electronic equipment under its own brand, even if the equipment is manufactured by another company. So let's say there is a co-packer who makes the equipment for you, but you have put your brand name on the final equipment, then you are also a producer. Third is offers to sell imported electrical electronic equipment and their components in India. So if you import any electrical components and even batteries, you are automatically a producer. When I say producer, please don't see it as the one who produces. Producer in this context is the one who is liable and has target to comply with EPR requirements. And the fourth is importer imports used electrical and electronic equipment, even if it is non-used. For example, if it is a capex equipment and you have brought in from different country, it has some electronic parts, it has batteries, then these rules apply. Even if it is used item, it still applies, because you're generating the waste in the country. In the country India is where you are generating the waste. Okay. um, we'll come to the calculation a little later, but and we'll come to an example also a little later. So, but this is the kind of requirement. The requirement is basically one has to go collect the waste, all the waste which has been generated, the post consumer waste which has been generated, as in, like, if you have said, so if you are selling refrigerator, you have to collect refrigerator. If you are selling TVs, you have to collect TVs. In your category, you have to collect in that category. Then you have to transport, reverse transport, bring it back. Collection could also include schemes like pullback schemes, buyback schemes, and things like that. Then after transportation, it has to go through no some kind of a dismantling. So no, whether you dismantle first, like separation, item number 4, or no shred, or if it's a small PCB item that you have to just shred and start using the component, the materials, the atoms inside it. And then you have to have a recycling plan. So some of it will get recycled, some of it will not get recycled. Whatever does not get recycled has to go through a safe disposal method. And that is how the entire reverse recovery, recycling, and uh, disposal system works. There are certain steps in the registration portal. So there's part 1 where general information has to be given, part 2 when estimation, where you put information so that estimation of e-waste generation comes. Part C is you have to create an awareness program, so that not only the collection agents, but also the consumers are somewhat informed that what you are generating can have serious impact on their health, and also it has a value, a recovery value, or a waste to wealth value, especially in the case of rare earths and special metals, which are not easy to find, and they are limited quantities in the world. There are 47 rare earths. So the awareness program has to talk about that the consumer of your product is informed that there is a route of the product to go back to the company. So there is a buyback scheme, or there is a place where you can put a bin and take it back and things like that. So the awareness program has to mention that. Awareness can be also in the space where there are waste pickers, and they have to have have safe method of collection, disposal, not getting exposed to hazardous substances. So there is something called part B, which is called ROHS, which is reduction of hazardous substances. There are certain substances that we will talk about it very quickly, and as I run past the entire rule with you. And then there are certain documents and certain what you call attestments, which has to be given by some CAs and also internal, so as to complete the registration requirements. So these are the registration requirements. We will not go too deep into registration requirements today. We can very well we can create a separate one-to-one video call with you, for two reasons. One reason is if you think that the rule is applicable or not applicable, to have a confirmation for your own product. And the second is that if it is, then how do we go about doing it. So those are the two reasons. Now I'm going to come out of this presentation and go directly to the rule itself. Okay, so I'm going to share the rule. Please keep compiling the questions, Yasin. I think there are a lot of questions. There are some 22 questions already on the system.
Sir, I'm doing that.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm going to take you straight to the rule book. Okay, so this is this one. This is the rule. The rule has come on 22nd November 2022 from Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate, MOEFCC. And this is now a mandate. It is already a rule which is a gazette. So there is no going back on it unless Parliament or unless Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha approves whatever. This is what is applicable for on the e-waste rules. So it's come into force from this financial year, first day of April 2023. So it's right out of the oven for you. It is right out of the oven. So it has several other things, but we will not discuss. We are not discussing batteries and plastics right now. We are only discussing e-waste at this point in time. Okay. There are certain definitions. Because in the case of producer here, if suppose some of you know about plastic waste rules, brand owner is a producer. Largely the name which is being put on the system is the brand owner. The if you put their logo, that is the brand owner. So that is the person who's the producer. I'm not too sure why this went away. Oh yeah, it has come back. Okay. So there are certain definitions here, very important definitions, which have to be mentioned. So where are the definitions? Yeah, here is the definition. Okay. So again, very importantly, please look at this, which I'm trying to highlight. Okay, this is something similar to what we have shown in the PPT. Manufacturers and offers. Producer is a person who manufactures and offer to sell under its own brand. Offers to sell or assemble its own brand electrical electronic items, components, or consumables or parts or spares are produced by other manufacturers. Suppose if you make a PCB and you have using parts, the PCB has an Intel chip and maybe diodes and XYZ. So resistors, diodes, those are produced from other manufacturers. But you have made a PCB chip, PCB, printed circuit board, where you have assembled some part of the component. So, for example, you have not done it totally. You have not created the entire product, but you are somewhere in between still, and but you put a brand there. You say this belongs to this company. So let's say Intel chip, or let's say motherboard of some company, right? So then you are again become a producer. Item number 3 is if you offer to sell imported items which has any electrical component attached to it. For example, you imported some part of a refrigerator or some part of a AC. You did not import the entire AC, but you imported some parts which are critical to running of the AC, the heart of that, the matter, the PLC or XYZ. You are liable there. If you imported the entire air conditioner or a refrigerator or no, even automotive part or even auto, then also the electrical components you are responsible for. So, and the final one is even if you import a used electrical electronic equipment, you still are responsible. Now, it is irrespective of whether you are a dealer, retailer, or e-tailer. If you are using your own brand, for example, Amazon has a brand called the private label. What is it called? Amazon. Uh, what is it called? Amazon Prime? No.
Amazon
Amazon
Basics.
Basics. Amazon Basics. So if you are an Amazon Basics, then Amazon Basic is branding this thing from different places, some from China, some from, but they are a retailer, so they are responsible. Okay. Then there is a recycler and refurbisher. The difference between recycler and refurbisher is refurbisher is enhancing the life of the product, and therefore the EPR target goes down. Whereas a recycler is basically taking away the components and trying to get to the rare earths, no, try to get to extract good quality recycling material from that. So it is like trying to take maximum value out of the waste, whereas refurbisher is trying to enhance the life of the product itself. So all of these 4 set of people, manufacturer, producer, refurbisher, recycler, have to register. Okay, the difference between manufacturer and producer is manufacturer is not producing as a brand, but producer is something who's producing as a brand. Okay. Now there are responsibilities. Everyone has to register. Everyone has to generate the data, and everyone has to have a quarterly and annual and quarterly returns. However, responsibility of producers are little bit more. So, for example, responsibility, all the responsibility of recovering the waste from the consumer market is responsibility of a producer. All of that, others don't have that responsibility. They have to register, they have to collect, and they have to file annual returns. But suppose if you send out 100 metric tons of, let's say, refrigerator, or a component like an Omron, let's say, BP measuring instrument, or something like anything like a Fitbit. I'm using this one here. This one has electronic component in it. So if you are using these, then you have to find the total tonnage of the sales and recover that much in certain calculation from the market. That is the responsibility of producers. Others don't have that responsibility. Bulk consumers have to register, and that is where if you are 1,000 pieces plus, you have to register. Again, I'm moving away from responsibilities and coming to chapter 4, which is storage. You cannot store e-waste for more than 180 days. Any e-waste has hazardous components. You cannot store it for more than 180 days. Even solar panel cells, chapter 5 says there is certain specific reference to solar panel cells, because solar panels are expected to have a life of 25 years, and they have generally come in in time of 2010, 12, 13. So their returns will start from 2034, 35, their recovery, but they have to register today. Registration happens today, your recovery can happen from the end of the life period. Okay, so there are certain certificates. There are certain recycling certificates that has to be generated. So when you bring your material back to a recycler, the recycler will give you the certificate, much like plastic certificate, plastic exchange certificate, plastic recovery certificate. This is also a certificate which will be only given by recycler, authorized by CPCB, available on CPCB portal, and only then you can buy those certificates if you are not doing that entire process by yourself. What is important is only recycler and recovery agent, the person where it's having end of life, or refurbisher who is increasing the life. Only those two people can give the certificates. Only those people certificates are something which will balance out against your recovery and refurbishing targets. We'll come to the targets for 1 minute in 1 minute. So for example, targets could be how much of the waste has gone in the market in the last 5 years. If suppose your company is absolutely new, you have not started the operation, then the target is in the forward space. But if your company is old and you have not registered so far in the old domain, in the paper based domain, which was there from 2012, your target still starts from 5 year before. So last 5 years, you have to no, your target will become from the fifth year preceding. So let's say 2023. Today is 2023. So 2018 production and sales. So not production, sorry, sales of that quantity. You will have to take certain targets against that. We'll come to how the targets are calculated. There is a reference to that. But chapter 7 talks about reduction of hazardous materials. There are certain definitions of ROHS materials which you have to manage, and then some miscellaneous items. You can read this at your leisure, or you can come back to us and ask for more details, and we can set up a video call with you. These are the 7 different categories in Schedule 1 where it is applicable. So, for example, Category 1 is IT equipment. It has telex, telephone, personal computing, servers, and stuff like that. They are categorized by ITEW codes. So 0 to 11, 0 to 27. And then it comes to consumer. So refrigerator, washing machine, fluorescent, radio boxes, set-top boxes, video cameras, hi-fi, audio amplifiers, sodium lamps, digital camera, all of this, luminaries, all of this is included. Then the section 3 is large and small electrical equipment. So this is mostly like white goods. So if you see dishwashers, electrical cookers, stoves, microwaves, fans, carpet sweepers, grinders, thermostats, air purifiers, so there could be some which are not in this. So that's why we said others. So we can, we'll have to figure out what it is closely matching with. Okay. Then the category 4 is all about tools. Against all the tools are not covered. Some tools are covered like saws, drilling machines, but there are other tools which have electrical component. They can't make a exhaustive list. Section 5 is talking about toys, all kind of toys, slot machines and stuff like that. Section 6 talks about all medical devices. And Section 7 talks about all lab equipment. So these are 140 odd subsections which are defined. Schedule 2 talks about this ROHS, this is hazardous materials, which you have to keep under certain targets. This is very important, that these have to be maintained in certain way. Otherwise, your product anyway will not clear the BIS and other requirements. So mercury being first, then you have phosphor, then halosulfate, then lead. I think lead is also there somewhere. Then mercury, then phosphorus, then metal halide lamp has mercury. So it is giving a lot of examples. Lead, as I mentioned, cadmium. Cadmium is another big one. Hexavalent chromium, considered to be cancerous, and then a few others. I think mostly lead, cadmium, and these are the big ones, right? So important thing here is a mass balance. You have to define how much of it has gone out in with your sales and how much are you recovering. You have to do a mass balance on this materials, because it is not that you have sent out one refrigerator. Yes, you have to do a total quantum of that in that category also, but you also have to say how much of mercury have you sent out in your, let's say, old style thermometer. So if you have sent out, let's say, 1 kiloliter of mercury, you have to recover 1 kiloliter of mercury. That is basically return and treatment of hazardous materials. Now, this is a schedule, as this is your target for coming years. The way to read this is that in year 23-24, which is the current year, you have to see whether your company, which was established in which year. Let's say if your company got established in 2012. Why is, I think, Yasin, why is the year of establishment of the company, right?
No, so why is the current year?
Okay, I'm so sorry. Why is the current year? And X is the life of the product. So suppose X is 4 years. So what happens is that you have to go back to the 4 years back. So like say 23 minus 4 is, let's say, 2019. uh, and then take the quantity of 2019 and take 60 like quantity which you have sold, and take 60% of that, and that becomes your target. Correct, Yasin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the 60% is your target for this year, for the year, not this year's sale, not the last year's sale, but the sale on the X minus years of that product. So if the X minus years is 4, then you go back to that year and look at that total quantum of sale and multiply it by 60%. This percentage is going to go up. So you can see year on year, 60 goes to 70, goes to 80, goes to 80. 80 is where it is gets limited, because it's felt that you can't recover more than that. Consumers may not give you, or maybe it got mixed with some other waste and gone in the market, got mixed and stuff like that. So beyond 80% recovery from the consumer market is considered impractical. Now, you may think that there is, suppose my company got established only in year 2021, but my product life is 8 years. So y minus x is 21 minus 8, and 21 minus 8 is 2000. Let's say, how much is it? 2013, right? 2013, you don't have any production, you don't have any sale, company did not get formed. So should we have a target for that or not? So there is another table here, which is below, which talks about, if you have any sales in, I mean, if you have your product which has not ended with its life yet. So for example, let's say solar panels. Okay, if you have a product which it has not even started, the first product has not ended its life yet, but yet you have to generate some credits or do some target. Now this could be because there is a no wear and tear, there is extra accidents, there could be wastages of the product after it is manufactured from your factory. There could be other things which where the product has had a downtime and it's out of operation. So that is why 15% of the target of 2021 is still applicable, even if the product has not expired or it has not ended its life. Okay, so that number goes to 20%, and finally it stays at 20%. Okay, so this is the kind of rule. I'm just going to stop here, and of course there is a little bit of life. In case you don't know the product life, government has come out with a draft of what could be roughly a product life. So there is this document which is in the draft stages. It says an inverter could last for so many years. No, there are certain average life given here. So for example, radio set 8 years, video camera 8 years, screen electronics 7 years, solar panels 15 years. So here, if you see, solar panels have been given 15 years of life. Maybe it will go for a change, but at this point of time, it is electrical cookers, stoves, hot plates 5 years, other appliances and other things. So generally, if you see here, toys average life of 2 years. Okay, I don't know where there's a life on mobile phone here. Can you check if the mobile phone is covered here or not? But these are some kind of draft files which are working, and we got access to that, so we are just showing it to you. Okay, I'm going to come back to I'm going to come back to this to the screen and stop sharing, and maybe look for some questions because we've a little bit overshot on our time.
Yes, sir.
So
So
yeah, so Yasin, can you tell me a little bit if there are certain
yes,
questions?
sir. We have a question from Sarat Singaraju. The same question is repeated by Nikhil Kumar and two other people also. So the question is, we wanted to import a lab instrument from USA for R&D purpose. Who is responsible to take EPR?
Not the lab instrument brand, you, because the lab instrument brand may not be registered in India. If they are registered and they're importing and then they are selling it in India in Indian rupees, then it could be them. But if you are importing and clearing the customs, then it is you. Okay,
Okay,
next.
sir. So the next question is by Jitendra Das. We have applied for e-waste EPR for 10 products in June 23 under e-waste rules 2022. We are already having EPR for CFL since 2018. We have not found recyclers for no e-waste products. So he wants a solution regarding that.
So we will be able to help you with the recyclers, and you can set up a video call with us. Yasin, I will create one. Maybe we can send it to them separately in a mail, some kind of appointment slots, uh, so that we can help you with the recyclers.
So we have one more common question asked by many of them. So this is a question from Ashok Tiwari. Is the e-waste rules applicable for the bulk users or cement industry?
Bulk users. Can you come again?
So bulk users or the cement industry, is the e-waste applicable to that?
Well, I'm not too sure whether cement industries have to register or not. But if you are importing some equipment and all that which has electronic components, you have to. Bulk consumers of cement, I'm not too sure whether you have to, but you have to see whether you have more than 1,000 as a user. If you have more than 1,000 pieces of laptops, and then you consider laptops, mobile phones, servers, everything put together, then you have a responsibility to inform. Yeah.
So a
Okay.
question from Janame J. Damade, is solar panels covered under the rule?
Absolutely. I just showed on the presentation that solar panels are covered. There is a separate section to the solar panels within e-waste rules.
Okay, sir. So a question from Divesh Pandey. If I'm purchasing more than 1,000 units of laptops, CFL bulbs, and other electrical equipments, then I fall under producer category. It's a question.
No, no. You don't fall under producer category. You fall under a bulk consumer. You are not producing that, and you are not selling that. So if you are selling 1,000 laptops and under your brand name, not as, let's say, a reseller or a redistributor, that if you're a distributor of a Dell laptop or Lenovo, then those distributors are not required to meet the target. Lenovo is. So in the same case, if you are buying, you are consuming, let's say, a Lenovo laptop or different laptops in your office, You are not responsible for the e-waste. Target is not going to come to you. You just have to inform that you are one of the bulk consumers so that government knows what are the nodal points. But more importantly, you have to, the companies from where you buy, those companies are liable. So they should normally have a buyback scheme from you for the old discarded machines. Yeah,
It's a
digital
question from
camera
Alok.
lenses. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
A question from Alok Parmar. Is mixer grinders included in e-waste from a production perspective?
Yes, because it's one, it is mentioned clearly in the white goods category. Second is that mixer grinder normally has have, rheostats, variable variable speed machines. So there again, you will have to you have the electronics are involved.
Again, the question by the same person, Alok Parmar. What if we import gases needed for AC? Will you be still liable?
Gases.
Yeah, the gases required for AC. Import gases required for AC.
No, I mean, if the gases are coming in cylinders and everything, let's say metal cylinders, then there are no way, there's no electronic component in my understanding there. So I don't think that gas or LPG or refinery or those kind of industries will be responsible.
A question from Kunal Baranwal. Is digital camera lens falls under e-waste?
I, I mean, just a pure lens, I don't think so because it must be plastic or it may be glass. But if the entire digital camera is getting imported, then definitely there are several electronic components in it.
A question from Ravi Bhushan. I'm Ravi from Denso India Private Limited. We are producing auto electrical components like starter, alternator, CDI. Do we need to register?
100%. We are, Minda is our corporate client. We are helping them at 70 or 78 different locations. They produce a lot of OEM items for, and they're tier one. And you are also, I think, tier one to auto. So starter motors, 100%. There are a lot of electronic components in it.
A question from Ravi Yule. We use lithium AA size batteries in the electronics. Will these fall under battery waste or e-waste?
Battery waste. Battery waste. Today we are not discussing battery waste, but let me tell you, there is a huge, as big rule for battery. And in the battery waste, there is, if you are importing any item, anything, let's say you are importing one piece of toy, let's say, which has batteries in it. It could be even button cells, portable button cells. Even then you have to declare registration of battery waste rules, otherwise customs will not release the consignment. We have seen the same situation in the case of plastic waste. And if the containers are coming wrapped in the pallets are getting wrapped in shrink wrap or any other stretch wrap, shrink wrap, they are not clearing it. So right now, 8,000 importers have got registered already. So similarly, if you have any one battery also in the entire thing, whether it's a capex item or a consumable item, or be registered. Okay, Yasin, any other? Yasin, you're
Yes,
there.
sir. We have
Okay,
a question from.
I'm going to just quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe Yasin has got. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, sir, I had a network issue. So a question from Sanket Patel. If the unit is involved into import of compressors for air conditioners or motor for equipment, are the e-waste rules applicable?
Condensers, you said? Compressors.
Compressors, sir, compressors for air conditioner. So he
Yeah,
basically wants to
so
import
if it's a pure
compressors.
compressor as a part, then maybe not. But if the compressor is coming with a panel, let's say some panel, some electrical panel, then yes. Because
So
compressor
Jitendra Das
otherwise is
says,
a
yeah,
mechanical part only, no, pure mechanical part.
sorry, sir. So Jitendra Das was saying that we are having battery-based EPR for our lithium-ion battery. We have not found any recyclers for the same.
We have. So no, you can directly get in touch with us from the mail, and we will help you with that.
A question from Kunal Trivedi. We are power electronics manufacturing company like UPS, drive, etc. Do we have to require
100%.
for registration?
100%. There are, I mean, in power electronics, in the UPS, there are so many AC DC conversions and storage and all that. Constant volt and stuff like that, diodes and stuff like that. So 100%. Okay. Um,
Sir, I think we should go for the polls to understand the concerns of the companies and participants.
okay.
So, shall I start it?
Yes, I have already put there.
Okay,
We have said
okay.
that what are the main challenges your company faces in implementing e-waste management practices? So it'll be nice if you could answer some of these questions. If you have any challenge in your operation, maybe this is the best time to mention it, because we will also probably understand your set of issues, maybe create an outreach. So please, if you have any challenges that you face, please click that. We have some 22 people who have already voted. We'll give 10 more seconds. Just click whichever you is applicable to you. Okay, so we'll stop now. We have 64% people saying that lack of awareness is the biggest reason for the biggest challenge. So I think I've published the result. Maybe I don't know whether the result comes out in some presentation mode or not. Uh, Not sure. Does it come? Are you able to see it? Are
Yes, sir, we
people
are
able
able
to
to
see?
see it,
Can you
but
please
we have.
put a thumbs up if you are able to see the result?
So, yes, sir, the results
Good.
are
I
visible.
think people are able to see it. Okay, very nice. And the second poll is, do you already have a e-waste management process? Because some people have said that they are already doing it, right? So if you already have it, then can you mention that here, that if you are already, you have an established program for e-waste management, or you are just starting out? We are just going to know. Now that today's presentation, you might have noted maybe its applicability, whether it's applicable, not applicable. So if it is, then you can say that we are not currently managing it. If it is getting managed, then you can please tell me that you already are managing the same. Okay, I'm going to add a last question. Uh, are you interested in knowing more about e-waste and its applicability to your company and products? And do you want us to reach you? It's a multiple choice question. First choice is no, a single choice question, yes or no. Very easy. So I've just posted a question. I think we are here only for last 3 minutes. So the question is, are you interested in knowing more about e-waste and its applicability to your company? Which means that we will look at your company in the video in the VC, and you can explain what are the different product types and operation and import or producer or manufacturer or whatever. And would you like us to outreach to you? If you want to, then please say yes, and we can probably try to create some kind of an outreach program. Okay. So last 10 seconds. Okay. I think we have quite a set of people who are wanting to make that outreach. I don't want to hold you further. I would. What we will do is we will send out a mail to whoever has participated in today's webinar, saying that if you would like to reach to us, please click that link, and then there will be certain appointment slots which will be available to you. You can definitely use the same and get in touch with us. I mean, I can come in that video call also. So, Yasin, I'm hoping that there are no more questions now, because I think we have overshot our time. It's 13:09. So, are there any last minute questions, or can we close? Yasin?
So we'll go with the last question by Ravi Yule.
Okay.
Then after that, we'll wind up. It's a coin cell or a small lithium cell used in electronics. We need to register both in e-waste and battery waste.
No, it's a cell, no? So you can just register under battery waste.
That's it. We'll wind up, I guess.
Thank you so much. Yasin, you can come on the video also for 1 minute. And let me thank you and thank others that have helped manage this. We have Abhinav and few others who are managing the YouTube live. The session has also, I think, got recorded, Yasin. So I think the session gets recorded, so we will be able to make sure that make it available to you. And you already know how to reach out to us. So you have email IDs. Preferable methods would be email. Send us an email if you have any more questions, and also we will send you a video recorded link and also appointment slot or calendar in which you can choose a slot, and we can then come on a VC. Thank you very much for this coming on making this a full house. I know some people got left out. We have a limitation of 100 people, but it was a real pleasure and honor to service you today, and thank you very, very much for the same, and have a great day, a great afternoon. Thank you very much. Thanks, Yasin.